After enjoying a great time with our friends at the bonfire in Port Maurelle, Amy's inner explorer decided to make an appearance. Busting out the kayak today?
Busting out the kayak.
Nice.
Yep.
Let's see, do we have a name for the kayak? I can't remember.
Aquila.
Aquila. Is that a constellation?
It is a constellation.
Nice. Kayak's ready to go. Amy's almost ready to go. Backlit by the light. Bad camera work. Do we need a hama?
Yeah.
Hama time!
I put things up. Wait, I lift things up and put them down. I lift things up and put them down.
Doesn't have quite the same effect. You're not actually lifting things up and then putting them down.
You give me a hammer.
Yes, dear. So we have high-tech solutions for problems on boats.
Please don't bang my finger. Thank you.
Oh, I think I missed it.
No, you got it.
I mean
on
the
camera?
video.
Way to go.
Now, more bad camera work. Now you're ready to go, huh?
Yes. And then, of course, let me go.
You want to be able to take off?
Yeah, that would be good.
VHF. Time for the paddle.
Danke.
Paddle. And...
Nope, bowling.
Oh. You actually tied this, huh?
I did.
Well, look at you being all extra fancy.
I am extra fancy. Grade A. Fancy.
Fancy feast!
Alright, love you, sweetie.
Love you too, have fun.
Thank you!
And now, well, Amy is off on a kayak. That means I can record audio for videos without disturbing her. Works out pretty well. Amy had scouted out the coral gardens on the island of Vava'u while she was out kayaking, and they sounded so spectacular, she actually convinced me to come along for the snorkel. The view in the water was so incredible that Phoenix decided she wanted to get in on the action from the air. Moving around Tonga today, over to a place called Hunga Haven Lagoon. Trying to sail as much as possible, mostly for the fun of it, but also to conserve some diesel, because you cannot fill up duty-free diesel until you leave. And there's lots of these little small islands around that make a little bit of havoc with the wind, but just testing the skills out. Hunga Island is the westernmost island in the Vava'u group, and required a bit of open ocean sailing to get there. I was constantly adjusting the sails, but occasionally we got some pretty ideal conditions. Even with two reefs in the main as we're coming around this island, the wind is shifting around to about 90 degrees right on the beam, which is awesome. Doing about 7.5 to 8 knots. Love it. We spotted a few blows from humpback whales, and it didn't take long for the tour boats to come in for a look. The whales seemed a bit shy as they took off pretty quickly, but that was okay as it allowed us to focus in on the rather crazy entrance into Hunga. We tied to a mooring which was maintained by the friendly Canadian couple who lived on the island and immediately set out on our first hike in Tonga. The first discovery was a little hidden beach with a view of Starry Horizons, but it wasn't long before Amy started in on the lessons for the day. So what is that in there?
This is a fallet. We are at Hunga Haven, and fallet basically means like a sleeping room. So it's very bare bones, kind of like more permanent tent structure for outdoor sleeping. Yeah.
So yeah, literally there is just a bed. Oh no, he's got a chair if you want to sit down, but
a little table.
That's about it. Pretty sparse and minimal. It's kind of cool actually.
We're having a botany lesson. This is a hamburger bean.
Wait.
And now I'm always going to think of Shelly on Blowing Bubbles when I see them because she first showed them to me. But it looks like a hamburger, doesn't it? It's got like a hinge back here. And then it's like a little tiny hamburger. We also have another botany lesson.
Well, I'm still stuck on that one because I don't think it's going to taste as juicy as a hamburger, cheddar, bacon, barbecue sauce. Oh, man, I want one so bad.
I'm sure you do.
Okay, you can continue the botany lesson now.
The next botany lesson we've learned is this red and purple plant, or purple and green plant here. Is called, the locals call it a Moses in a basket.
Moses in a basket, cause it's like
a little baby in a basket floating down the Nile, apparently.
Glad you don't have to do that.
Float down the basket in a Nile as an infant? Yeah. Oh, here's the mango tree.
This is our
landmark.
Landmark
for the turn. Barry told us to turn right. I'm gonna be a rebel.
I don't know how I put up with you.
Look at these perfect little springs here. Boing, boing.
Always finding something to amuse yourself in nature, aren't
Boing.
you?
I love nature. Boing.
Amy had another spider wand at the ready, and on this hike, it was definitely needed. God, spiders.
He's a cool spider.
Are you sure about that?
He looks cool.
Did you say, "What's up, homie?
Yeah.
Come to my spot for drinks and bug juice later"?
Aw, nature jokes.
Found the road.
What's the vote? Right to the beach, left to the village.
Left to the village.
Alright.
Hunga isn't a very big island, so it didn't take too long before we started approaching the edge of the village. But we did eventually meet a few residents. Our initial welcoming committee consisted mostly of scared pigs.
Oh, even littler one. Sorry, guys.
The village was really quaint, and even had a paved road and solar-powered streetlights.
We found the local school and noticed a few churches as well, but we were a bit surprised to see something from the good old US of A.
This is kind of interesting. What do you think this is?
I'm guessing fresh water. Maybe rainwater cisterns.
Yeah, it looks kind of like a rainwater collection sort of thing. But there's a sign on there, U.S. Aid, apparently. U.S. Agency for International Development probably donated these to the island. Of course, the sign's in Tongan, so we can't really read it.
Nope. Tax dollars hard at work.
Yeah, I'm willing to spend it on that.
Bringing fresh water to people? Absolutely.
We went down for an explore at the village dock before turning around and heading back to the beach on the other side of the island.
I am now recording.
Are we? Alright.
So we're doing this walk in Hunga, and we found this gate. We have to climb over. Fortunately, there's stumps on either side of the gate
Ta-da!
for the two-legged animals.
10 out of 10 on my dismount. Isn't that how they do it?
And the fence is there to keep in cows, apparently. We can't see any cows, but we can smell cows.
The day was a bit gray with a few rain showers, so we were the only intrepid explorers who braved the journey. Amy, of course, wasted no time at all combing the beach for interesting shells.
Ooh. Big fatty cowrie shell.
Call that Big Mama's house?
There were a lot of shells around, which kept Amy quite busy. I, on the other hand, really enjoyed our hiking through the jungle. It took a while, but eventually we actually stumbled upon the reason for the fence.
We found the cow. It's hiding all this time. Doesn't seem too interested in us though.
The day we left Hunga was pretty windy, so I decided against sending Phoenix aloft. Instead, I went old school and kept an eye out from the bow. Amy did a great job maneuvering Starry Horizons through the rocks, and then it was back up to Neiafu for another hike.
So where are we going today?
We are hiking up the highest peak in Vava'u.
Vava'u.
Yes.
Somewhere off that
That
way.
Not get run over by cars.
Well, slight hazard.
We met up with our friends Marg and Simon from the boat Marganzi and Ray from Lionheart and set off.
Beep, beep.
It's gonna close up and swallow you in. So you found our landmark, huh?
Yeah.
Turn left here.
The official start of the hike was a ways out of town, and we planned our route to make sure we got all the critical information we needed for the adventure.
We get some high-tech weather updates here in Tonga. I love it.
With our weather report in hand, we hiked the last little bit to the base of Mount Tala'u.
Mount Tala'u is where we are, and there's a story because it's the flat top of the mountain. So the story is that the Samoan, what does it call him? Mischievous spirit came and lobbed the top off the mountain and stole it.
But the Tongans prevented it
Yes,
in the end,
Tongans
right?
called their own spirit, and she mooned the Samoan spirit so that he would think the sun was rising out of the east or the west or whatever. Yeah.
Sun was rising, couldn't work during daylight, so he had to
Yeah,
leave the
something like
mountaintop. Man, I tell you, it's craziness here in the South Pacific.
People stealing mountains. God.
Our timing for this hike was perfect, as the government of Tonga had just finished installing the handrail on the steps leading up the mountain. I wasn't quite sure if it was to prevent tourists from falling down the mountain or to help cruisers more accustomed to climbing the few steps on their boat, but by the time we reached the top, I was quite glad it was there. The reward for climbing all those stairs was several overlooks with incredible views of the islands below.
So, what do you think?
It's a beautiful view. We're on, what's the name of the mountain again?
Tala'u.
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 Mountain.
We sailed like all the way up this channel to get into town, right?
Yeah. We're looking northeast now?
No, this is
West?
Pretty much west.
west or southish or something.
I have no idea then. Alright.
Glad you're our guide.
That's what compasses are for.
On the way back down, Amy decided the stairs were too boring and went in search of a path less traveled. We definitely found it.
I think you can go that way because it's trodden. It's a trodden path for the adventurous and the young. But this is the way.
Chose a crazy way down, didn't we?
Road less traveled.
Road less traveled. Come on down.
Oh boy.
It was slow going, but we did eventually make it back to the main road safe and sound. And we all unanimously agreed that some ice cream was the perfect way to celebrate a job well done.
Hey everyone, thanks for checking out our second video from Tonga. If you liked it, give us a thumbs up and subscribe, that definitely helps us out. Stay tuned for our next episode where we go swimming with the whales, which was one of our most awesome experiences ever. And we've been told by a few people that there was a glitch in the matrix for our last one and YouTube didn't send out some notifications. So if you missed our first video from Tonga, click up here, we'll have a link. Thanks for watching, guys.
You dead down there?
Not dead yet.